The butcher, the baker, the grocer, the clerk are secretly unhappy men because the butcher, the baker, the grocer, the clerk get paid for what they do but no applause. They proudly wish their dreary jobs goodbye for anything theatrical. So why? There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing, everything the traffic will allow. Nowhere can you get that happy feeling when you're stealing a lecture bound. There's no people like show people, they smile when they are low. Yesterday they told you you would not go far, tonight you open, there you are. Next day on your dressing room there hangs a star. Let's go, all reverse, everybody. There's no business like show, business like show, business like show. Everything about it is appealing, everything the traffic will allow. Nowhere can you get that happy feeling when you're stealing the lecture bow. There's no people like show people, they smile when they are low. Yesterday they told you you would not go far, tonight you open, there you are. Next day on your dressing room there hangs a star. Let's go on with the show. Hey! Ladies and gentlemen, it's lovely to see you. You look like a lovely big garden of flowers. Mind you, there's a few weeds stuck here and there. A song that has been very kind to me over the years, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, David. Grab your coat, get your hat, leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. And if I never had a cent, I'd be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade, those blues on parade. I'm not afraid, the rover crossed over. If I never had a cent, I'd be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade of those blues on parade. But I'm not afraid, the rover crossed over. If I never had a cent, I'd be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's lovely to see you this afternoon. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kenny Gibson, known to my friends as Rambling Rose. No good in bed, but wonderful against the wall. I'm so pleased. When I arrived this afternoon, Mickie driver said, "Kenny, it's lovely to see you." And he kissed me in both cheeks. I was picking my handbag up at the time. This is between you and I. I'm ironing my brassiere for the show this morning. And my husband said to me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm ironing my brassiere for the show this afternoon." He said, I don't know why you bother, you've nothing to put in it. I said, well, I wash your Y fronts, don't I? He came in last night and I was cooking the dinner. He saw the mink stole lying over the sofa. I said, what do you think of the mink? He said, I bet you paid through the nose for that. I said, no, but you're getting more. As I came in here today, there was a man standing in the foyer there, and he said to me, I'm a man of few words, do you or don't you? I said, I don't as a rule, but you've just talked me into it. Thank you, Mickie. I've got to tell you this gag, ladies and gentlemen. I'm no good at dialects, but the action takes place in Yorkshire. And now there's a picture of the scene. The fellow's walking up the garden path. He knocks on the woman's door. She opens the door and she said, what do you want? He said, I'm collecting for the Grimsdyke Colliery Brass Band Benevolent Fund. She said, you what? He said, I'm collecting for the Grimsdyke Colliery Brass Band Benevolent Fund. She said, you'll have to speak up, I'm a bit deaf. He said, I'm collecting for the Grimsdyke Colliery Brass Band Benevolent Fund. She said, I can't make out a word you're saying. Off you go, I've got my housework to do. And he's walking down the garden path. And she said, and close my gate. He said, to hell with the gate. She said, yes, and to hell with the Grimsdyke Colliery Brass Band Benevolent Fund. I'm lying in bed this morning at 4:30 reading the Woman's Own. And my doorbell goes, and I thought, who the hell's that? So I slipped into my caftan, went downstairs, I opened the door, and this man's lying in the gutter, no arms and no legs. Oh, it was worse than that. I said, what do you want? He said, I'm looking for a naughty girl for the morning. So I looked at this poor man, no arms and no legs. I said, do me a favour, darling, what could you do for a girl like me? He said, I rang the doorbell, didn't I? It was my anniversary last Monday, 32 years married. And he said, I'll take you to the pub tonight for a nice drink and a sandwich. He's very generous, man. So we goes into the pub, so it was bitterly cold, threw into the lounge at the back. Lovely coal fire, it was really nice, just him and I. And the governor's dog came through, a beautiful golden retriever, and it laid in front of the fire. And he said, what a beautiful dog. And I said, yes it is. And 2 minutes later it lifted up its back leg, put his head between his legs. This is a dog. And he started licking his private parts. He said, I wish I could do that. I said, if you give it a biscuit it might let you. I've got to tell you this one before I go. Listen, this Scotsman, 65 years of age, never been to London before, decides to come to London for the weekend. He gets off the train at Euston Station at 10:10 in the morning. He's walking up Euston Road and he sees a pub in the corner, and in the window there's a sign that said Ploughman's Lunch £1. And he says to himself, I wonder what that can mean. So he walks into the pub and the landlady, the barmaid, big chatty, walks up and says, hello darling, what can I do for you? He said, the Ploughman's Lunch have advertised in the window for £1. She went, yes. He said, could you tell me what it consists of? She said, yes. It's a lump of cheddar cheese, a piece of French bread, a pork pie, and half an hour up and stairs to bed with me. He said, whose pies are they? This is the last one, I won't bore you any longer. So it's the pub outing to Southend, and all the married couples, the elderly married couples and the widows and widowers are asked to meet in the pub at 9 o'clock in the morning. They're given tea and coffee and a little drop of the hard stuff to see them on the way. They all get in the coach, and halfway to Southend they stop. to have a nice lunch, a 3-course lunch, and a little bit of whiskey or brandy. And then they're on their way, and they arrive in Southend. And the driver of the coach says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we're now in Southend. The time is 25 to 3. You've got 2 hours to enjoy yourself. Do whatever you like, but you've got to be back in the coach by 5:45. We leave at 5:45 on the dot." Is that all right? And they all went, yes. So they go their separate ways. And there's this old couple sitting on the bench looking out at the ships passing. And he taps her on the shoulder and he said, "Don't know your name. Are you enjoying yourself?" She went, "Yes." He said, "Do you enjoy your lunch?" She went, "Yes." He said, "I've really had a wonderful time." He said to her, "I bet you couldn't tell me how old I am." She said, "What?" He said, "I bet you couldn't tell me how old I am." She said, "Stand up and drop your trousers." He said, "Here." She said, "Go on." So he stands up and looks at her and drops. She said, "And your Y fronts." And she puts her hand over it. She tickles it. I don't know whether it was what that or that. She said, "You're 82. He said, "That's bloody marvellous. How do you know?" She said, "You told me yesterday." Now to more serious notes, ladies and gentlemen. As Mr. Driver said, I'm going to pay tribute to some of the stars of stage and screen. The first film was 1944. It was called Hello Frisco Hello. The song was You'll Never Know. And the star, Miss Alice Faye. Sing it with me, people. You'll never know just how much I miss you. You'll never know just how much I care. And if I tried, I still couldn't hide my love for you. That's lovely. You ought to know, or haven't I told you so? Went away and my heart went with you. I speak your name in my every prayer. If there is some other way to prove that I love you, I swear I don't know how. You'll never know if you don't. Everybody this time, nice and loud, come on. Enjoy yourselves. You'll never know just how much I miss you. You'll never know just how much I care. You'll never know just how much I care. And if I tried, I still couldn't hide my love for you. To know, haven't I told you so? A million or more times you went away and my heart went with you. I speak your name in my prayer. If there is some other way to prove that I love you, give yourself another big round of applause. Fantastic. Now the reason I put the mic back in the stand, I'm going to introduce you to a great friend who was a great friend of mine, sadly no longer with us. I did 2 summer seasons with her, one in Yarmouth and one in Blackpool. She was a great star, very difficult lady. And the only reason she was difficult, ladies and gentlemen, is because she was a perfectionist. She demanded 110% from all the company. A great star, I refer to the late, great Miss Hilda Baker. I want to sing a note, I want to see you smile, sing full of happiness. This is a show that you'll enjoy because it's full of obsess. Song, dance, music, gaiety, yawn and the net. I won't be satisfied until I feel inside you've had a happy time. I'll just say hello, she knows you know, and see you in a little another dance. I won't be satisfied till I feel inside you have had a happy time. I'll just say hello, she knows you know, see you in a little, only in a little, see you in a little while. Yes! Excuse me dear, the benches are slipping. I'm serious. The dentist said to me, if they're uncomfortable, bring them back and I'll reline them. I took them back, I think he's sold and healed them. That was Miss Hilda Baker, ladies and gentlemen. Now hands up those of you who remember the Palace of Varieties. Come on, you must remember Palace of Varieties in the Wireless. I had a great pleasure of doing a week at the Palace of Varieties in 1963. And I went into the theatre one morning and the child lady was sitting having a cup of tea. And I said, you look a bit tired, dear. She said, well, she said, if I had to do all the cleaning myself this morning, my mate didn't turn up, she's not very well. She said, I've cleaned the stalls, the circle, the gallery, all the dressing rooms, except that one. And I said, what's that dressing room? She said, well, it hasn't been open for years. It's called the Old Stars dressing room. I'm going to open it now. She put the key in the door and she opened the room. She said, this was a dear old dressing room with a tarnished star in the door, a star which once shone brightly in bygone days of yore. And in this room of memories, the stars came one by one, each individual full of happiness, joy and fun. There was Mary Lloyd, a favourite at the Pally. Remember, folks, she used to sing Don't Dilly Dally. And G.H. Eliot, that chocolate-coloured crooner, humming, whistling and dancing to My Lily of Laguna. Then that great star from over the border, no, we'll never forget, dear Sir Harry Lauder. And Roll 5-2, I and Charlie Kemble, yes, in this room they all assembled. Old cracked mirror on the wall, who's the greatest of them all? You've seen them come, watched them go, many of whom we'll never know. Now these things bring back memories, and often we shed tears to think that all these wonderful stars have passed down the avenue of years. So with nothing else to see or do, she picked up her bucket and her broom, and she gently closed the door on the Old Stars dressing room.